Welcome back to the Gandee Show. Today, I know I say this every week, but this is one of my favorite topics. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I believe is absolutely vital to not only recovery, but to life itself, and that is finding a purpose. For me, finding my purpose has absolutely changed the trajectory of my life. There's only been one other time in my life where I knew why I was alive, and that was when I was 19. My brother was 8. I had custody of him, and it was him and I versus the world. I knew why I was alive. I knew why I had to wake up every day, and that was to make sure that my brother was safe, not hungry, and not sad. So like when I did not have the responsibility of caring for my brother anymore, I was lost. I was lost. I had no idea what I was doing on this earth, and I never learned the coping skills to deal with that. So I turned to drugs and alcohol. All that stuff had to happen in order to bring me exactly to where I'm at today. So let's get into this. Finding your purpose. If you've been following my journey, you know that I am a recovering heroin addict. And I believe that God preserved me not because I deserved it, but because my story is meant to help other people. Your story, your pain, your survival, it all means something. But here's the thing most people don't tell you: purpose isn't something you wait to feel, purpose is something you build, something you discover piece by piece, something that grows as you do. Hmm. And the more you grow, the more the old things that once controlled you begin to fall away. That's what we're diving into today. Why does purpose matter in sobriety? Well, when you're in addiction, your entire world shrinks down to one need. This is great. This is great already. I'm so excited about this because it's so true. So think about it. You can't serve two masters. This is something I say all the time. That one need when you're in addiction is, how do I not feel this pain right now? That becomes your entire purpose, even though it's destroying you. Think about that. Man, that is poetic. That is, that is so deep. When you're in addiction, your entire world shrinks down to one purpose. How can I not feel this pain today? Your purpose simultaneously turns into the very thing that is killing you. It's so insidious. But the moment that you enter into recovery, that purpose is gone. What? Suddenly you're left with emptiness, a void. And that void is dangerous. Because if you don't fill it with something meaningful, the old life will gladly take its place again. Yeah. I think that that is something that keeps people trapped in the cycle of addiction, because at the end of the day, we are all just human beings trying to feel okay. And that looks different for everybody. And that sentence it sounds so simple, right? But really, really think about that. We are all just human beings trying to feel okay. And that looks different for everybody. And if you're not raised or taught the skills growing up, you're going to turn to the world. And what does the world promote? What does the world offer you? Escape through drugs and alcohol. And unfortunately, today, that's become increasingly dangerous because they're putting fentanyl in everything. I believe that nobody's safe. It doesn't matter what your drug of choice is anymore. And that scares me. That's really scary. For the first time in my life, I'm afraid to die. If you don't fill that void with something meaningful, like I said, that old life will gladly take its place. This is why I always say that sobriety isn't just about taking the drug away, it's about replacing the life around the drug. That leads us into something I want to break down: the law of replacement. The law of replacement is simple. Bad habits don't disappear by fighting them. Bad habits fall away when better habits take their place. This is true spiritually, emotionally, neurologically, and practically. Think of it like this: if you remove darkness from a room, you still can't see. But if you add light, the darkness leaves automatically. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And that is exactly what I'm trying to do with my life, is be the light. And that's how recovery works. You fill your life with things so meaningful, so powerful, so aligned with who God created you to be, that addiction has no place left to live. When I started stepping into my purpose and sharing my story and helping others and serving God, the cravings were gone. The depression was not heavy anymore, and the triggers were not as dangerous. Not because I suddenly became stronger, but because my life became fuller. And that is a fact, that is objective fact. If you don't replace your old life with a new one, the old one will eventually return. But when you build a life that you actually want to live, addiction stops looking like an option. Truly. People have been trying to figure out purpose long before you and I were alive. And there are documented, proven ways that humans across history have used to find meaning. And I want to give you a few powerful examples. Viktor Frankl, turning suffering into meaning. Frankl was a psychiatrist who survived Nazi concentration camps. He created logotherapy, a whole field of psychology based on one idea: those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. Frankl found meaning by finding something to live for, shifting focus from pain to purpose, helping others even in suffering. This exact mindset is transformative for recovery and has been transformative in my life. You stop asking, "How do I survive?" and you start asking, "What is my life for?" Another example is the 12-step model: service is purpose. Alcoholics Anonymous discovered early on that people who stayed sober long term did one major thing: they helped others. That became the 12th step, carrying the message. Helping someone else heal gives you purpose, accountability, connection, identity, and hope. This is exactly what happened in my story. God preserved me so I could pull someone else out of the fire. Third example: monks and spiritual leaders. Meaning through daily practice. Across centuries and religions, monks have found meaning by creating structure, routine, sacred rituals, daily service, silence, and reflection. The Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." Their lives show something key: purpose grows in consistency, not in chaos. That is also evident in my life. I'm not saying that I'm a monk or a spiritual leader, but I've definitely shown consistency, and my purpose has grown in that. And the chaos has, like I stated in my earlier example, been like, you know, when you add light to a dark room, it just dissipates. Fourth example: modern psychology, purpose through signature strengths. Research from positive psychology shows that people find meaning by using their natural strengths such as creativity, leadership, compassion, perseverance, and humor. When people use these strengths daily, their mental health improves and relapse rates drop. So, I talk about this all the time, but when I first came into recovery, I had absolutely no self worth. The shame and the guilt that I was experiencing was overwhelming to the point to where I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror and say one nice thing to myself. And I learned that throughout active addiction, we damage our neural pathways, but they can be repaired. It takes 28 days to create a new habit. So, something I did for 28 days, I'm right handed. So, I brushed my teeth with my left hand. I took 25 exaggerated breaths in through my nose and out through my mouth. And then I looked at myself in the mirror and I said 10 nice things to myself. And for the first couple weeks, I could not even look at myself while I was saying these things because I did not believe them. But what it was doing was it was moving past my conscious brain, and it was going into my subconscious brain. It was like planting a seed. And then by the third week, it became easier and easier and easier. And I stopped keeping track of how many days I was doing it because I was noticing a real positive change in my attitude and the way I was talking to myself. Fifth example, survivors of trauma, meaning through storytelling, another thing that's evident in my life today, as you can see documented on camera. Therapists and trauma researchers have found that many survivors heal by sharing their story, which is exactly what I'm doing, helping others with similar struggles, turning pain into purpose. This is exactly what I'm doing with The Gandee Show. Here's what I want everyone listening to take with them. You don't need to know your full purpose today. Just take the next step. Here are steps anyone in recovery can start. Follow the things that make you feel alive. Some people come alive when they help others. Some people come alive when they create. Some when they speak, teach, or serve. Pay attention to what moves your soul. Notice the moments of impact. When someone tells you, "You helped me, you inspired me, you said something that changed me," these are all things that I believe that should be recognized. Let the pain point you. Your greatest purpose is often hidden inside your greatest wound. I can tell you that surely when I was in the middle of active addiction, I would have never ever ever imagined that I'd be sitting in front of a camera pouring my soul out to whoever's listening. It doesn't matter if 5 people watch this, if it helps one person. If I make a million videos and throughout the million videos, I can impact one person, and I'm gonna keep making these videos. Addiction took a lot from you, but it also gave you something. It gave me something. It gave me a purpose. And it gave me a unique ability to connect with people who are struggling. Replace your old life with a new one. This is the law of replacement again. Fill your life with healthy routines, good people, faith, learning, service, creativity, and responsibility. Learning and faith have been two major things that it's just something that I fill my life today with. I have like this insatiable thirst to learn, and I really enjoy it, honestly. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I try to learn something every single day, whether that's learning something about myself or learning something that can help me help somebody else. These are things that have brought great joy to my life. It's just an example of how I am always trying to become a better version of myself. This is just something that has helped me. So maybe it can help you too. If you can implement any of these things into your daily life or your routine, you will be able to visually see the darkness fall away. Ask God daily, what do you want me to do with my story? There's a prayer called the third step prayer that I gravitate towards, and I believe this is why I'm attracted to it. God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and to do with me as thy will. Relieve me of the bondage of self so that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties so that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. Amen. That prayer has evolved for me. When I first started saying it, I put no thought into what it means, but I feel like as time goes on, I discover new meaning in it. And what stands out to me right now is the part where it says, take away my difficulties so that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help. So for me, that looks like this, and being a light, being part of the light everywhere I go. I try to take that light into work with me, into the grocery store, in traffic, right? because we cannot control anything. We cannot control how anybody talks or acts or thinks, but we can control ourselves and how we act and our attitude. And that for me is example of the light that I want to display in my life. I want people to be able to see me and think, I wonder what he's doing to be able to feel that way, right? And there's a fine line between attraction and promotion. A purpose isn't found in one moment, it's found by walking with God day after day. Listen, if you're in recovery and you're searching for purpose, let me say this. You do not have to have it all figured out. You don't need a 10-year plan. You don't need to know exactly where you're heading. All you need is this, the next right step. Add one more good thing and replace one more bad thing. Keep moving towards the person God is shaping you to be. And trust that your story, even the ugliest parts, will one day be the reason someone else survives. That's crazy to think about. I don't know where you're at in your journey, but just know that wherever it is, I was there too. And if you look at what I'm doing and think that, oh, I'll never be there, I can never feel that way, I promise you it gets better. I had no plan on being alive right now. I believe that I would die addicted to heroin. Your purpose isn't coming, it's already inside you. I truly believe that. You just have to uncover it. Today was a short episode, but I believe it was a powerful one. And if you have something that you would like me to share with my audience, I would be honored to do that. So you could definitely email us at thegandeeshow@gmail.com. And if no one told you they love you today, I love you. I'm out.